And we are live, and we're going to... There we are.
There we are. What's up, everybody? This is Elaine Stott and Professor Tim Wilson with Reality NSFW doing our little circle chat thing. And today we got Shubham, a.k.a. Shooby, hanging out with us and trying to get the inside scoop on things going on. We were actually talking politics before this podcast started.
And I told Elaine not to. Yeah. I told her to save it for Shubham.
He said, save it. Shooby
he knows. He knows.
The expert. Yes, Shooby's the expert. We should talk to Shooby. So, yeah, you running for governor, though, man, at 22. Like, that's absolutely amazing that you've done that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I always wanted to do.
Yeah, that takes some balls to throw your hat in the ring like that. You know what I mean? I was saying that I personally think that the less you know about politics when you go into politics, the better, because you're not trying to follow the rules. You're following your gut, and I think a lot of our people in charge, they would fare a lot better if they did that. You know what I mean? Like just following your gut.
That's true. The less you know, the better it could go.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, but I'm no expert. I got redneck politics. That's how we handle things around.
Hey, that's a good politics.
But Shubham, I'm expecting you to go back into politics. I think your destiny is written in the stars. And I would vote for you anytime.
Professor Tim, you know I got such a soft spot for you. I had the time of my life running, and I think when the moment's right, and if it ever feels right, I'll put the foray back into politics.
Dude, I really think you would do amazing because me personally, like, I'm a kind individual, and you're probably one of the kindest people I've ever seen cross my screen. And I just get down with people like that. And it's like, yo, we need more of that in politics. So
me too. You guys are both radiant spirits. I love it.
Dude, I would move to California just to vote and then move out 6 months later. Just so
me too. Me too. I would go across the pond, become a citizen, vote for you, and then hurry back to the Queen and country.
Hey, I would take those flights. That would be amazing. 2 more. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I could replace Meghan Markle.
Yeah, that's true. And you kill it.
I have no response to that. I don't know. I really don't know. You left me speechless.
I'm just thinking, who else in the world has had 2 weddings in 3 days? I can't think of very many people who can claim that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was a private ceremony before, right?
Yeah, I think she's mistaken because it would be illegal under British terms to have a private ceremony without witnesses. So she would need to have 2 witnesses. They could have been garden gnomes, though, maybe.
Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah, very fair.
Maybe it was just like a spiritual reunion.
With angels.
No. I'm just saying, like, with God in general, like maybe.
Yes, but you can't do that under the rules for the Church of England because it's a church governed by law, so it's linked to the law of the land. So it's very precise.
Dude, your whole culture over there fascinates me. It really does. It totally fascinates me.
I think it's not designed to fascinate. I think it's designed to confuse, actually.
This could be true.
Yeah, it's a lot of politics.
Anyway, look, we're here really to talk about the Circle, and theoretically we're here to talk about Circle Series 3, but I'm sure most of the time
Shooby's like,
talk about Circle. What?
He's like, wait, what?
But I'm sure most of the time we've got to talk about the US version of the Circle and how Shooby should have won.
You're too sweet.
Yeah. Well, actually, we had Chris on last week, and I told him, I was like, man, you should totally tune in because I know when Shooby gets on here, he's going to talk mad trash about you. But
I love Chris. Chris is my boy.
I know.
Isn't he wonderful? Isn't he wonderful?
Such a bright light, such a great guy. Yeah.
Well, the first week we had Paddy on here.
Oh, Paddy, yes.
Oh, it was like being blown into broadcasting by a whirlwind of. A day, you see, we didn't have a gnome, we had a leprechaun. It was wonderful.
Different one this time.
followed by a glittering ensemble.
Yeah.
From Chris.
Now we're here with the nicest guy in the world.
So. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, thank you. No, you two are so nice.
Well, it's the truth, though. It's the truth.
So I thought we could be really organized, and we could have 3 basic questions and then float around that.
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable? So my 3 basic questions. The first question is something, because I have a sneaky suspicion. I keep forgetting exactly what you do, Shubham.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too.
What is your subject? What is your subject?
Yeah, so right now I'm in the software field, so I'm doing data.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I thought that was it. So I now in January 2020.
Yes.
So we have to put our mind back to just before COVID.
Yeah.
There was a man called Dave Gershgom or Gershgorn. I'm not sure. I've written it down so quickly. I don't. I'm so sorry, Dave. But he wrote in a magazine called 10, and he was talking about artificial intelligence and the circle.
Mm.
And there was a debate and an interview with Tim Harkett, who invented the circle. You know, that rather brilliant man.
Yeah, Tim's brilliant.
Isn't he brilliant? Isn't he? At the end of the circle, he came into my apartment, and I gave him a drawing I'd been doing of Boris Johnson. I didn't have anything else to hand. So anyway, he was asked, how does the AI of the circle work? And Tim admitted in the article. So we're not in any danger in talking about this. He admitted that there were people who were transcribing a lot of the things we were saying, but it was saying how magnificent it was that that here we have a game that puts voice recognition sort of at the top, and this is obviously what AI should eventually be doing. So, in your experience, is AI almost completely human controlled, or have we actually got to a point where computers can actually process information? Can I dictate to a computer?
That's an interesting question. I'm actually taking a deep neural networks class right now. So
I thought you might be.
Yeah. So literally, which is like, the timing is amazing.
Yeah, you see.
I think it's a handful of both. With these deep neural networks, you're basically, the idea is you're having all these neurons hitting each other, but the humans have to program it. So you have to program an AI to let it think for itself. So the quickest thing is like a father and son. The father's programming the son, and then the son makes his own decisions. Yep. So I think you need the humans to start up the AI, but then we are at a point where now the AI can think for itself. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like if I have, say I have like an Excel sheet of stock prices, right? Like you have a dates and then you have the stock prices. Then I can give this to an AI, right? The neural networks, and it can tell me, okay, based on this, this is what I think in the future is going to happen, right? Mm. But with deep neural networks, I don't even have to give labels. So I don't even have to say, these are the days, these are the stock prices. I can just give it to itself, and it will find out patterns itself. Like, I don't have to give it any rules, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes, it's very interesting. I think, I mean, but another thing I was thinking, Tim, actually, was how interesting would it be if you use like AI on the circle, and like some type of AI machine had to create a persona that would do the best on the circle by looking at.
Now, I think that would be a so much better joke than the deep than the fake tally joke. I think an entirely artificial being who presents themselves as real. So, I think that's exactly it. So,
Shooby, have you got to see any of season 3?
I saw clips of it, and I've seen a little bit online, and Professor Tim gave me actually a really
cliff notes. Yes,
point by point. So
yeah. No, I really didn't like the ideal of the cloning thing with somebody that was voted out. Now I think if they had done it from jump and maybe cloned a couple people, it may be different. But I didn't really like it. I thought that Orange Tally didn't have a shot, honestly.
No, she didn't.
She did make some headway.
She did very well.
Yeah, she did, but I didn't think that it was gonna. It turned out the way I thought it would, But I think they could have done it a little better somehow. I just don't know. You know what I mean?
You know, I had big problems morally with it, and I mean, really big problems. I've struggled greatly with the whole concept in the last few days. But if we stick to the performances, I thought Yolanda performed brilliantly. I thought she was so engaging.
Yeah.
And Tally, you just want to. Oh, come on, group hug. And
Blue Tally was devastated. Now I
know where she was. I know where she was because I was in the same place with Richard Madeley last year. So, you know, did you have any horrible moments, Shubham? You didn't, did you?
In the circle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
give us the behind the scenes deep dive.
No, you know what? The toughest thing was just like Tim probably knows, sending people home. It really crushes your spirit, and like,
oh, it's horrible.
Yeah,
sending so many people home, I think messes with my head so much.
Believe me, I know that. I was there before you. Or no, I was there after you. You did it first.
Right back.
You
to
did
back.
it first. It was.
And like,
it was broadcast.
Yeah. But honestly,
such a jolly, and I was so jolly. But every time I'm sending people home from this wonderful experience, it's like, no.
I wonder if every player feels that way, or if it's just those of us that are, you know what I mean? Because I feel like the three of us are kind of, you know what I mean? We're kind of similar in a lot of ways. We're super kind and nice and sweet and all this, that, and the other. So I wonder if it's just our own inner whatever for how we. Because when I was on Survivor, I felt the same way. It's like I cried after, you know, sending some people home, and it's like. I wonder if every single person feels that way. I'm sure they feel bad, but like
I think they do really. I had to lie down on the floor with my cat every time I came back from the influencer room, and I got to a point where I couldn't use the word influencer. Any other word came out except for influencer because I hated it so much. At one point, I talked about the effluencer, which wasn't quite correct, really. But
now both of you were influencers a lot on your prospective seasons, wasn't you? Like so you had to go through it like more so than other players because you were influencers so many times. I say that's rough.
But in any ordinary American series, if you had been the influencer in week one, the next week you would be right at the bottom of the pile because people would reject you. But in the circle, that didn't seem to happen for either you, Shubham, or for me.
Yeah,
we kept popping up like something that won't flush.
No, I was so shocked. Like, I mean, you know, I'm a huge Survivor fan, so I always thought, you know, basic strategy is like Tim, right? You were at the top. I would just assume they would bring you down, but it was kind of the reverse. It's like,
it was as if I got some sort of permanent grip.
Yeah, well, I got news for you. If either one of you ever go on Survivor, y'all are voted out first because you are just like me. You are too lovable to take to the end. Y'all going home.
Oh, so. I think I've got a secret edge somewhere, and I'm sure Shooby has got a sort of a backbone of steel that he hides as well.
I'll be scouring the forest. I ain't leaving till I find that idol. Come at me, but I'm not going out day one.
I can see Shooby just holding on to the tree, and they're like, "We're going to tribal." He's like, "No, we ain't.
No. You can imagine if you were on a desert island, and a little desert island, sea all round. You'd have the Shooby shark, the dorsal fin of Shooby, will keep swimming round. I will find out what's wrong here.
20 more minutes.
Yeah, right. 20 more minutes. They shut you down.
Very perspicacious. You work out what's going on, Shubham.
Oh, thank you, Tim. No, likewise, man. Like you're the best.
The question is, does it matter? That really is the problem. And I think in Series 3 it does matter because it's now become all about catfishing and all about winning. But in our series, I really don't think that was the purpose. I think this was a side issue. And if you got too involved in catfishing, you actually lost the game. You went wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. Shooby, on your season, how many catfishes was in total?
We had, in the opening lineup, we had 2. And then we had, I think 3 come in later. So 5 total.
5 total. In the season that just started, they've already got how many, Tim?
I think they've got 4 at the moment.
Yeah,
wow.
just to start out.
And I suspect they're going to get one other.
Oh, I'm sure.
One other, possibly 2 others this evening.
And so it's surprising to me that everybody that comes into the circle now, the season now, is like they're like, well, I need to be this person because I'll do better. You know what I mean? Like, that's surprising to me. I would play it as if I'm anything but me, it would never work. You know, so it's interesting to me that there's so many catfishes coming in.
I think also the default position for production is that if somebody goes into the show, they're likely to be a catfish, and then you have to plead to be yourself.
Yeah.
So I didn't plead. In fact, I'm not a very good pleader, but I sort of I fell into being me by default. I somehow they decided that my catfish option wasn't very good.
Tim, I couldn't see you trying to be somebody. I just couldn't. Same thing with Shooby. I couldn't see.
Look, I planned to be Mrs. May. I planned to be the ex-British Prime Minister, and I did some research, and I thought, yeah, I can probably keep her going for about a week, which is probably all she could do in real life. And then I went shopping, in Cambridge to try and find some kitten heels. Do you know what they are?
No.
No, they're sort of.
No,
they're sort of high-heeled shoes with a sort of thing on the back, and they're quite sort of pretty. Anyway, I went into a shop. First of all, I had the problem that they didn't have any in my size, and secondly, I realised I didn't really know what I was doing. And I don't normally go into a shop and feel completely sort of stranded, but I felt completely stranded. And I thought, how can I possibly pretend to be
you can't even shop in the real
female
one.
prime minister if I don't know how to buy shoes in a shop? I mean, having done the shoes, I thought I'm next going to have to go off and get other items of clothing. It's just going to be a non-starter.
So did you consider being a male, like somebody you know, or
no,
something like no?
No, I only thought, well, here is an opportunity to do something. I can make an interesting political statement.
Yeah.
I can sit in my room weeping about the state I've got the country into, and that would have been an interesting moment.
Wow, that would have been interesting.
Sure. Longing to get outside and run through a field of corn. And I thought, the problem is, could I sustain this for any period of time? And number two, is she interesting enough? And in the end, I thought, really, she's not interesting enough. She's probably the most boring prime minister we've ever had.
It's so interesting.
Shooby, did you ever think about being a catfish?
Well, as I was applying and going through the thing, I thought, I wanted to test my hypothesis. I didn't like social media, a lot of it before, and I just thought,
I'm with you. For
me, it would be a lot easier just to be myself, and I thought that's just something I wanted to do, and I felt like it would have worked better. But I mean, I like the idea of it. It's very interesting for sure. Now that I look back at it, it is very interesting.
You see, Shubham, you had an advantage over me. You actually knew what social media was. I didn't know what social media was.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't set up my Instagram account. Someone else set it up for me a day before I went in.
I actually set my social media accounts after we had filmed the season and came home the month before the cast was released. That's when I got Instagram and Twitter. I didn't have it either before. I'm not a big social media fan either.
So we're all the same sort of people.
That's what I keep telling you guys.
You see.
3 pies of social Medusa. No, for me, before I had it, and for Instagram, I think I was posting once every year or two. So when I posted, I would be like, hey, first and last post of 2008. I'm stoked. And then or whatever.
Well, it's awkward. For me, it's awkward to be so transparent. I mean, Shooby, you got a crazy number of followers. I got a small little, whatever, but still, to the small few that I have, it's strange to me to be so transparent with them and share everything. Like, oh, this is my bowl of whatever. This is my, So I do try to post some because I do have fans out there, and I interact with all my fans the best I can, and who am I to deny them this light? So
let me see it for sure.
Yeah, so it's if they reach out to me and they think I'm important enough to talk to, then why wouldn't I feel the same back to them? So I try to post for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just so awkward and hard to get used to.
I know, same. I still haven't gotten used to it.
Yeah, no, it's go ahead, Shub.
I got instructed early on that I had to do a post every Sunday, and it's called Sunday with Tim. And some Sundays I think, oh my God, what can I do? And this morning I moaned about getting the COVID vaccination, but and I feel rotten, I must confess. But last night last night somebody rang me out of the blue and says, please, will you give out, will you tell people what result they got on our circle game? And I thought, how can you play a circle game on the internet? So I did it. I didn't understand it anymore, but it was very nice to do it. And you're thinking the headache is coming, the aches are coming, and here I am sort of, chirping away, and that's my job.
They do say though that you're supposed to post like so often to stay, I guess relevant. I don't know, but I'm with
God.
Shooby.
I was hoping you wouldn't use the word relevant.
I know that word scares me also, and like but Tim, I hope you're doing better from the vaccine. I mean, that's
I will be fine by tomorrow. But I mean, I just thought I'm grateful I'm sitting down now.
Listen, I've put the fear in him though, because I keep telling him, yo, the second one, I heard the second one's, and he's like all freaking out now. So I've kind of
the second one, rougher.
Have you had it, Shubham?
No, not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Oh, the first one is bad enough. Sorry.
Well, I've not had it either, but I've had friends that have had it, and they're like, if I'd have known that the second one was going to be this rough, I don't know if I would have ever got it. That's how.
Oh no. Look, the point is, good things sometimes are a little bit uncomfortable. So if it hurts a bit, it's probably doing us some good.
Yeah, that's what I told my wife when I asked her out. I was like, listen, it may hurt in the beginning, but you're gonna like me eventually. Like we'll get along eventually.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Tim. We're gonna talk about some Circle, like season 3.
Yes, I was going to ask my third. So my second question was the fake tally thing. So we've gone through that quite quickly. But the third one, by the way, so you've both seen some of it. Do you know who the winner is yet?
Of season 3?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who do you think is going to win?
I don't know about that one.
I made a prediction about 6 months ago without knowing who the players were, so I have to be very discreet. But
I think it's gonna, honestly, because she's in such a good spot. I think Gemma, who's played by Hunter.
Yes, isn't he amazing?
Yeah,
I think he's wonderful,
and everybody loves him. And if you kind of think back to past
seasons, one of the
like,
puppies.
Yeah.
Aren't they gorgeous? Aren't they gorgeous?
If you think like the Shooby season, like everybody always loved Joey. And then like to your season, like there's always somebody that the people just kind of connect with. And I feel like this season it's kind of him.
I think so. It's either him or it's Andy. Andy's also a sort of linchpin in the show, and everything seems to move around Andy. He's got a heart of gold as well, don't you think?
That's true.
But this is I'm coming up to my third question. I'm coming up to my to the third part.
The best.
So, and I'm going to get into
Shooby's like, third's the best.
Yeah. a tricolon. But it's the third one is I'm going to get into great trouble because I know that there's a difference in terminology between America and Britain. But in Britain, we would talk about the Asian connection.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you call people from India, the subcontinent, whatever. In America, what do you call people?
That's part of it.
Well, I mean, usually in America we refer like South Asian, so I would be like, I'm
South Asian,
or Indian or Asian. I don't get Asian as much, but mostly it's like South Asian or Indian.
So South Asian. So what about the South Asian connection? Because we've got 3 people from South Asia.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that
in one show, and they're all dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great representation for sure.
It's it's Manrika,
Vithun. And Hashu, sometimes known as Smash, and here playing Uncle Said. And
that's so cool.
Well, and I think they're all great, and they seem to be super smart and kind of have a grasp on things. So it's like they're representing well as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I was despairing a little bit of the sort of humanity that so drenched the Circle when I was there, and in the first series and in your series. And then suddenly there was this moment when Hashu and Manrika were talking at the end of, I think, episode 4. and it was so tender, and it was so sort of moving. I had to wipe a tear away.
So he started questioning whether or not he should have came in as himself, because he felt so bad, because it was such a tender moment between the two of them, and they were having such a good connection. And and he's like, "Yo, I'm lying, and we're having this moment." Yeah, I felt bad for him, because it's like he kind of picked his poison, and now it's like, yo, I don't know if that was right.
Yes and no. The point is, those tender moments, the sort of emotional, that point of emotional rapport between two people, it happens whether you're catfishing or whether you're real. So so that connection will have happened anyway. Just the same as there was an immediate connection between myself and James, who played Sammy. It didn't matter that he was catfishing. It didn't matter that I knew he was catfishing. There were these emotional moments.
Well, you got Shooby and Seaburn over there.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Now we. Did you not? Come on, Shubham. Did you not know?
Oh, that she was a cat. You know, that's what's so interesting. The first couple of episodes, I suspected she might have been, but then as the season went by, I didn't think she was, and I really and I know I wish I didn't.
So listen, so let's be honest. When the reveal came at the end, was you like, I'll bust you in the nose for lying to me like that? Was you feeling that?
No, I wasn't filled with anger. More so, I was just shocked, and it's kind of like I was just thrown up off my feet. Like I felt like everything I played the whole game as, I just questioned everything. You know what I mean? The whole world I was in, I just questioned it, and I guess I was just trying to understand.
Yeah, you're like, am I really that naive, or that? Do you question yourself? Like you're like, yo, is my judgment that far off?
Yeah, I just felt that maybe I was like, was I wrong about a lot of stuff? Did I think this? I mean, how did I not see the signs, I guess, in the second half? Yeah. But then Seaburn's such a lovely person, and I look back.
Isn't he wonderful?
He's wonderful. Yeah. And like, what difference does it make? He had my back the whole time with the rankings. He always put me in first or second.
Yeah.
I know people said, like, oh, he was a catfish. We didn't have a connection. We did have a connection. I was there. We loved Marvel. We talked about sword fighting. We were dorks at heart. We both rose the ranks together. In the beginning, we both got destroyed in the ranks. Then we both fought our way to the top. So, I mean, as much as people want to say, like, oh, it was a catfish, it wasn't a real relationship, I was there. I felt it. It was real. So,
well, also, like you can attribute, like, you going far in the game, because he always was talking to other people about you, for you.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So it's like,
absolutely. And I think that was what was so beautiful about art, is there were, like, me, a lot of the OGs and stuff, we outshined each other, we fought for each other, and that's it.
Yeah, somebody was moving some boxes, something. I don't know what just happened. There was all.
Oh yeah, I heard some like construction stuff going on.
Yeah, Tim, you got a construction crew in your apartment?
No. I think I might have been my fault. I think
it could be a mic. Yeah.
Oh, Bay's over there turning the volume up and down like I.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a Bay problem.
No, but I think you guys totally saved each other, and it was because of the genuine relationships that you guys had formed. But.
Yeah, and I think it's fun. It's like I called myself Sharky Shubham, the catfish hunter, and I didn't see it, but no regret.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not as sold on this idea that everybody has to tell the truth all the time. I don't think truth is the top quality in life. I think kindness is the top quality in life.
Yeah.
And I remember many a time when somebody says, "Does my bottom look big in this dress?"
I knew he was going to say
no. Of course you're going to say that, aren't you? No, you look lovely. And then I think, I'm going to buy you something else soon.
It's like, we're going shopping. Yeah.
There are times when truth is not.
Tomorrow morning, we're going.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Or noon.
Oh my goodness! I've just spilled the tea on your lovely dress.
Yeah, no, but you're right. I'm with you on that. I think kindness. I always say that kindness goes a long way. When I do those cameos and stuff, I always say treat people how you want to be treated, and try to be kind when you can, because it goes a long way. Yeah. And you'd be surprised on how many people don't follow them rules. You know what I mean? Like. And I'm with you. I feel it.
And also, don't you find when people are not entirely telling the truth, it's pretty obvious in the end, because they cannot be that consistent unless they've been trained like James Bond. And even then, he doesn't always succeed, does he? I mean, you really.
No, that's true. Shooby, when you was on the circle, was there times when you tried to like sneak a lie in, or try to like, was it?
Yeah, I struggled with it so much because like I knew there were so many points in the game where I knew strategically what I had to do to win the game. Like I was like, hey, I could be season 1 winner right here, right now. Let me tank Sammy, let me tank Joey, but it didn't feel true to my relationships, with who I fought with, so I couldn't do it.
Well, that's the biggest thing, is you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror the next day. So if you can't do that, then why would you take the steps to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then there was a big moment. I remember we had a game where it was like pick your biggest rival, and like strategically I should have said someone like Ed because he's a new player and I don't have a connect. It's easy, but then I was like, you know what? The truth is, it's Joey because we've both played somewhat similar games, and I felt like he was my biggest rival. But it wasn't smart game-wise, but I just did it.
No, was you sweating bullets after that, though?
Yeah, I was sweating massive bullets because I thought I just made the biggest blunder of the game, but I was happy. I mean, it was truthful to what I felt, but I mean, that's what I felt because I was so conflicted that moment. But
did you feel all the way through the game that he was playing the same sort of game as you?
I felt, well, I played so much by his side, so I think that me and him both wanted to play a similar game.
But don't you think you were also both really playing a sort of heightened version of yourself? You were projecting that warmth and friendship.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt it with Joey. It was what it was, and like it's hard in the game because you're like taken away from everything. So that's why I felt such strong like kinship towards all of them, especially Joey and Rebecca and Sammy and Chris. You just feel a strong sense of kinship there.
You should have took an animal like Tim did. He had Bay, so it was like he had somebody to talk to on a regular and pour his emotions into.
That was intentional originally, but I wanted to take the older cat, and I just worried that she would die halfway through the program. And I was thinking,
that would have been terrible on the server.
It would have been terrible.
I know.
And she survived. She's still here now.
Yes.
But she's got to a point where she's terribly, terribly restrained, except for screaming every so often. She screams for attention practically every 10 minutes, and she likes sleeping in my cardigan. So this is the first time today when I've not had a cat in my cardigan like a kangaroo. So popping up, it's like a scene from Alien.
Right, Shooby, did you know that in the UK they actually have animal insurance? This is something I did not know.
Wow, that's incredible. I did not know that.
Have it?
No.
Oh my goodness, really?
We do not. No, you cannot pay your premium and take your dog to No,
well, we pay huge amounts to animal insurance, and then we expect to have some of it back when we need vet services.
Yeah, I had never heard of that until Tim told me, and I was like, what?
So Shubham, do you have animals?
No, I had a fish once when I was 5. But it died, unfortunately, really quickly. It was super sad. And, like, his name was Tommy and stuff. And he was like...
His name was what?
Tommy.
Tommy
and Ronnie.
Did you give him the toilet bowl flush?
I don't remember, actually. I hope I did.
Oh, you mean you did? Shubham.
No, I hope I don't know.
Remember.
I just don't remember.
Oh, that was so traumatic you forgot it. That's...
Oh wait, toilet bowl flush. No, I hope I don't do that. I don't know. I don't remember.
I was saying, because a lot of kids, when they have fish and they pass away, they'll flush them in the toilet, or some take them outside and bury them. So that's what I was asking you. Did you have a toilet bowl funeral?
Yeah, I don't remember, honestly. Might have been. I don't know.
You blocked it out. It was so traumatic. You blocked it out.
It was sad. I never had a pet after, but.
Really, listen, I am a huge animal lover. I've had animals my entire life. Horses, dogs, cats, you name it. I just love them all. I don't believe it when people say, "Oh, they're just animals." No, they ain't.
Yeah,
they got personalities, they got feelings, and I just love them.
They have souls.
Yeah, all dogs go to heaven, so I'm here for it.
Absolutely. I have great affection for all animals, and I think if we brought an animal into our life, then we have a responsibility for that animal. But more than that, I think also our animals have personality, and I think they really do have souls, but they have it through us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so they have. In fact, a rather nice friend of mine. His father is a priest, and he sent me this wonderful little book for funeral rites for animals. And this is when I was seriously thinking that both Bay and Hannum were going to die. This was last year. And they're both revived, so the book is not necessary at the moment. So that's rather wonderful. I'm terribly pleased. I can't believe that both my cats became seriously ill at the same time, and that both my cats have actually recovered.
Maybe they had COVID.
No, they're both very old.
Well, I hear that animals can catch it.
They can, yes. We were talking about whether or not animals would have to have COVID injections as well. So. Dark conversations today. Dark conversations. Come on.
Listen, we wing it, and then we just go places that nobody else goes. But that is what it is. So let's get back to what we were talking about.
So we'd got onto the Asian connection, or the South
Asian,
South Asian connection. So do you think these three guys are a good representation? And
I think they're wonderful. Absolutely, all three of them.
We've got a person from Sri Lanka. That's Vithan.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a person from Bengali, and I don't know where Manrika is from.
Oh, Vithan's from Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's lovely. That's so.
Isn't it lovely? I mean, he's such a nice fellow. I was so
super
excited.
Nice, super nice.
Have you had a chat with him yet?
Yeah. So I messaged him in was it who else? Yeah, no, I messaged him. Sorry, what was the other person's name?
Vithan and Hashu.
Hashu. Yeah, what was his catfish name? Saeed.
Saeed.
So I messaged those two. I tried to add Manrika, but like her group settings wouldn't let me add them. But yeah, I was just telling him how proud I was of them, and it was so wonderful to see all three of them on the circle.
Yeah, I think they do us all proud. There's a wonderful sort of diversity of our culture. And
absolutely. I mean, from what I've seen, like I haven't seen the game, but it seems like if the three of them can form that strong connection, then I think that could be a triforce that just like powerhouses to the end.
Oh, well, I'm sure it will powerhouse a very, very long way. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. At least, I have no doubt they'll be at the final table. Actually, all three of them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He said that he wanted to be the first Asian winner in history. Right? He said that there's no Asian winner on reality TV.
Yes, well, that's because Shubham didn't play the game.
Yeah,
right,
Shubham, you failed.
I know. That's true.
Dang,
true. I know.
You failed.
So, Shubham, where is your family from originally?
They're from India. So my mom's from Meerut and my dad's from Lucknow. And
where is that in the geography of India?
Middle part of India, and then
right.
And then they came to America mid-1980s, and we've been here ever since.
Can I just say that when I saw your home video of your dad, I love your dad.
He's wonderful.
He's so wonderful.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, you could tell that man loves you so much. And I was like, oh my God, I just want to hug his neck. You know what I mean? He was so cute.
He's the best. My mom and dad, they're the best. And I remember actually it was just so special. I got to have that moment with my dad there, on the video, and towards the end of the game, it made it so much more special for me. And
right, well, you can go back and rewatch it. You can show the kids. When you become governor, you can be like,
No, we had a fellow during COVID who's called Major Tom.
Okay,
and he did some walking for the health service, and he raised a lot of money. And people's hearts went out to him. And we discovered that Major Tom had a background in not reality TV, but a game show. He appeared on a television game show. I don't think he won.
What game show?
Oh, I don't know. Probably.
You can't give me half the information.
I'm so sorry. No, I think it was
the rest.
I think it was a thing called Blankety Blank, but I'm not absolutely sure.
Sounds
Dude,
like
I need to go to the UK because y'all's terms.
You
and
need to
words-
come and live in the UK for a while. You need to come and stay with me. Both of you
Yes.
need to come
I
over
want
here.
to come. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyway, we've got to go scouting around the university cities, Shubham.
Yeah,
So,
I can't wait in Oxford. That'll be so amazing.
Well,
Oh,
and
it'd be
we
wonderful.
invited Chris too because Chris is awesome. So it's like, yo, we
Yeah.
should just
I
road
love
trip.
that.
We
So
should
we-
road trip over there and just
We
get
should.
it done.
with
That
a
would be
little
so much
with
fun.
a little glitter.
Yeah.
It's very important. A little glitter goes a long way.
Dude, we would be such a motley crew. Like we would get heads turning left and right because we'd all look so different.
Yeah,
But
the
we're
four
all-
of us.
Yeah, but we're all the same in here. So what's
Mystery
it matter,
gang.
right?
I love it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it would work.
What would be
wouldn't
your
it?
Shubham? Like, what would be your secret power? Like from the Mystery Men thing, what would be your secret power if you was a superhero?
Oh my. Well, I always fly. The ability to fly would be super sick. Like,
Right.
yeah, I think fly anywhere.
I want to be able to read people's minds, and
Oh
then
my goodness!
Oh, I
That
think that
would-
would drive you crazy. Actually.
Yeah,
Well,
and
What?
so much
Wait,
noise.
there's got to be
Yeah.
a clause in there where you can turn it off.
oh, I see.
You know, what I mean?
Like the Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
Turn it
basically,
off like a light switch.
yeah, basically, because that way you can get your information that you need, and then just shut it off and go
Yeah,
back.
you
to
see,
bed.
I don't understand how Superman does his X-ray vision and how he can control which bit he's looking at.
Oh, while
and-
he's doing it.
I've never.
And should
thought
he
of
and
that.
should he not be locked up for being slightly sort of? Well, he has
I've
that
never
potential.
thought of that.
How can he walk down the street with impunity now? But Shubham, so in the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
Thor or Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Which
Ooh.
one?
Thor. I'm gonna go Thor.
Oh my goodness! And Elaine, which one are you?
Thor. I just want to pack a hammer.
My goodness, you see, I
And-
love Doctor Strange. He'd only appear on the
No,
last
both
few
are
pages.
amazing. Both are amazing.
My brother would say Doctor Strange. He's a huge
I'm
Doctor
so
Strange fan.
pleased. I'm so pleased I've got an ally somewhere.
Well, I
But
love him also, but Thor.
I loved all those circular patterns, and he's
Yeah, when he was playing like that one-on-one duel, he was a master.
oh, this is in the film.
Yeah, the film. Yeah.
Oh, the film is great, but that's Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, he just he could play the devil, and I'd be drooling and,
same,
and enjoying it. So,
Peter.
go, destroy the world, Benedict. Yeah,
Go for it.
it's great. It's great. But back to the original comics. What's your earliest Marvel comic?
I had a Captain Marvel comic. I forget what issue.
No.
Yes.
Ooh, the irony, or what's a word you would say there? Oh, what's a word? I need a UK word. What's a word?
I have no idea. Well, wow, I think.
Just
but,
wow, really?
Pow. Yes, let's use the Marvel language.
No, because you have things like, oh, that's bloody mad, or oh, that's
Yes,
rubbish. But what's
I
one
don't-
for excitement?
I don't think I would. Well, if you go back to the 19th century, the word "hello" was the one you would use.
Oh,
hello.
Lord. No.
So
No.
hello was never a greeting. Hello was not intended as a greeting. Yeah,
there you
it
go,
became
blimey.
it became
Blimey.
a greeting because somebody used a phone and this voice came out at the other end of it, and it was, "Hello, this is a great
Hello.
surprise to me."
Yeah.
And that became the standard greeting.
No, I'm not gonna steal that one. I'm not gonna steal. But I like rubbish. I love that word.
Do you?
Yeah, that's rubbish.
Rub-
And bloody
rubbish.
hell.
Bloody hell is quite. But yeah, I don't mind that. But it's a,
Or as
it's.
Patty would say, "Fuck off!" Like
Oh, I couldn't buy.
that's Patty. Patty was saying that all the time.
yeah. It's I'll have to rediscover my Irish roots to sort of quite get to grips with that sort of
Right.
Anglo-Saxon
Cheerio.
language.
Cheerio.
Cheerios. man.
Cheerio. No, I've never come across anyone who says Cheerio.
Cheerio.
And Cheerios are horrid sort of biscuit or something. I mean, which look like dog food.
Here you go, talking about biscuits
Oh,
again.
cereal.
Oh, yes,
Cereal's really
absolutely.
good.
There we are.
Cheerios.
There we are.
Cheerios.
So,
I love Cheerios.
So let's go back to Marvel. So we got the Marvel universe, and then we've got that other universe with
DC.
with Superman, DC. So which one is? Are you really a Marvel aficionado? Do you prefer Marvel to DC?
Well, I love them both, but like I'm a Marvel fanboy. I always was.
But what's
Really?
the difference? What's the difference?
Well, I love them both. I think it's their take on characters, right? The Marvel characters have always had more of a grounded, humane version, right? So you have people like Tony Stark, and they're just more grounded in humanity, whereas DC, it's a lot more mythological, and it's a lot more of like their superpowers are like, whoa. So I think there's a bigger disconnect between humanity and that.
Okay. I got you.
You see, I didn't realize until the other day when I was sort of, I was thinking in the middle of the night, you know, that no hour when everyone else is asleep and you wake up and you think, now is the time when I can be Einstein. But you're not, actually. You're dissecting DC and Marvel comics. And I suddenly thought, oh my God, Batman is not named after the winged creature. He's named after the assistant to a sergeant on the battlefield in the First World War.
Wow.
What?
Everybody would have a Batman to do all their work. It must be. It suddenly struck me. I mean, I may be wrong. Somebody who's oh my goodness, we've got a chat, haven't we? And I don't know how to.
Maybe you could ask them because
we can ask them, but I don't know how to find the chat here. I've got the wrong.
Shooby, we've been learning how to podcast like one step at a time.
Oh, we have got comments.
No,
we've got comments. Look, we've got comments. We've got a person called Jason who says chuffed. That's nice. Chuffed. Yeah, we could be chuffed, not chaffed. Chuffed. Chuffed. Very happy. And then Tammy says there's pet insurance, but it's not worth the amount it actually covers. And Anthony Eros says, sorry, I'm late. What have I missed? You've missed life, Anthony, I'm afraid. We have been dissecting life and enjoying it.
Yeah, we just bounce around a little bit of this,
bouncing around a trinity of like spirits.
Was there any answers in there if that's a true story about the Batman thing? Because maybe we've lost everybody because they're thinking, oh my goodness, they're not even talking about season 3. Let's go back to season 3. We always do that.
So, what do you think about the whole idea of? So we talked about being an investigator, influencer. Yeah, I told you I don't like this word. I told you I don't
call it influencer, and like I was like influencer because it felt like the end of the world just sending these.
Yeah, absolutely, influencer, perfect. And Shubham, I had never come across something with a blue tick before. I had to come off the circle, open up my Instagram. Oh, that's what a blue tick looks like, and I don't have one. I've never had a blue tick.
I know, it's so crazy seeing it.
Shooby's got it.
Have you got a blue tick?
Yeah.
How did you get a blue tick? Did it just arrive out of the blue, so to speak?
Oh, I love that. Hey, I love that pun, Tim. No, it was I think Netflix did it for us when the show came out.
Oh, yes,
there you are. And then they just bestowed the power of the blue.
There we are. It's like Doctor Strange, isn't it? Doctor Strange. There we are.
Yeah.
So now, do you remember when you were back in the circle, did you have any of these group chats? I don't remember what group chats you had, because there are some people that I only knew in a group chat. I never spoke to them privately.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Antonio, we had a boys chat in the beginning with the 4 of us. And, like, me and Antonio were having a hella good like rapport in there, but we never had a one-on-one chat. So what sucks is that it's an interesting thing because I didn't know where Antonio stood with me, and I didn't know he was ranking me number 1, because if I did, I wouldn't have sent him home.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting dynamic of the circle, the group chats and the individual chats. I feel that the individual chats are a lot more powerful for relationship building and alliances.
Absolutely.
So, see, that would be my strategy. I would literally message everybody like day 1 and just start
But you
talking.
can't.
You're not allowed?
You have to go through a pant, not just a
Well, you have to go through a voice. So again, we can talk about this because it's in a newspaper article. So there was a lady from the Guardian who was given who I've now spoken to her. She's called Emily, and she was given a day taster of going to the circle. And she went into one of the rooms. I don't know whether it was mine or yours or where it was. And so she reveals that you do live in isolation, but there is a voice of God who asks you questions and generally guides you. And I found I had 2 voices of God. they didn't do a great deal, I don't think. I mean, I was fairly self-contained. I was fairly determined about what I was going to do, but I felt incredibly supported by them.
Oh yeah.
And you would have had the same thing, Shubham, I think. So you would probably have had voices of God. Now, what were we saying? We were talking about. Yes, we were talking. We were talking about our.
Broke up. Oh, okay, it's back for me now. Okay, sorry. What was that, Tim?
I was talking about the voice of God, and you were. I was talking about the voice of God, and Shubham was having a mystical moment.
Maybe God hit me, and that's why.
That's true.
My computer.
Yeah. Well, what he was saying was like, did you have those moments where the voice of God was talking to you, guidance, and this, that, and the other in the circle? Did you have those?
Yeah, I definitely had moments in the circle where you don't know why you did it, but you just did, and
yeah. Exactly.
It wasn't. You weren't listening to rational thought, or
no.
You just felt
it. The thing that people I think don't realize is nothing is scripted. But to a certain extent, you are sort of controlled. So you are on a rail track.
So you can't just message everybody because
you can't message. No, you don't have control over the. Over the platform.
Well, that makes better sense to me now, because before I was like, well, why haven't they talked? That makes no sense.
Because you can't. Probably in a day, you probably have 2 private conversations at the very most. And some of those wouldn't make it into the edit. So certainly in your version, Shubham, because it was. Oh my goodness! What's his name? What's his name?
I can already tell it's going to be so cute.
This is
yes. There we are. What's his name?
It's Chewy. It's a girl.
It's she.
Yeah, it's a girl. She just got home from Mammoth, so
Chewy.
Because she looks like little Chewbacca.
She does. I mean, if I half close my eyes. Yeah. She makes the noises too.
She's a handful. She just got home because we had just went to Nashville and came home, and my wife went to go pick up the youngin and the dog because we took him to Mamaw's house. So she had to come say hi. That's all.
Oh, I'm so pleased.
I distracted you.
I'm so pleased. No, so we were talking about you're the choice of people you can talk to. So in your case, because the show was edited and went out sometime after it was recorded, the editors could think what material do we have to show in order to tell the story. In my case, because it was done live, they were making quick decisions. That conversation is completely worthless. That was a conversation Tim had. Yet another conversation Tim had with Cy about tractors and combine harvesters and cow poo. Not remotely useful. So none of that got into the edit. And then when Cy was blocked, he wanted to come to see me, and it made no sense at all.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't shown the conversation and the bond that we'd already formed. And similarly, a lot of the bonding that I had with Sammy, aka James, was on a sort of different level to the one that I think they were trying to tell. So therefore, again, what the show made us out to be sort of arch enemies. It was like a sort of cowboy scene at the end of the show with person in white facing person in black, practically twirling his moustache, and that wasn't me.
Though.
That's so interesting. It was so cool to see, though, when you guys were both influencers and you guys were it was like a chess game between you and him.
Oh, it was horrific because on that particular occasion we had to block Ella, and I was refusing to do so. Yeah. And I actually did refuse to block Ella. You have this thing. So tell us who you're going to block. Okay. The person I'm going to block is bum, 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 like the Jaws music, and Shubham with dorsal fin coming across the camera. Bum, 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 bum. The person I'm going to block is Tim, and the whole show stopped, and we were left in those funny little rooms for about 2 hours while production had a meeting and came back to me and said that's not a legitimate decision. I think they told James there was a technical error. The technical error was me, and at that point, really, if I had been if I'd had my moral compass, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning. If I'd had my moral compass, I would have said, okay, I'm leaving, and got up and gone. But I didn't. I blocked Ella.
Right.
At that moment, my moral compass falls clattering to the ground.
Went out the window. Well, I mean, there is moments though when you have that little voice in your head. It's like, should I really? You know what I mean? Like, you go back and forth.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is though that kind of just pushed you to go with it and finally just give into it?
What, with Ella?
With Ella. What do you think it was?
Because the choice was, do I block Ella or do I block Paddy? I was never going to block Paddy.
Oh, okay.
And therefore, who can I block other than Ella? The only other person available was me. So
right.
At that point, you're so locked into this binary choice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think, actually, there is a third choice. And the third choice is I get up, walk out of the door, and walk out of the block of flats. That would have been that would have been a reasonable choice, but it wasn't one at that point in the middle of the night. When you're stressed and tired, you just want to go back to bed. You're anxious about Bay. It's not one. It's not the one comes to mind. It came to mind afterwards. I thought, oh, stupid Tim.
Yeah. Do you think any of the players that are in season 3 right now are struggling at all with any of that stuff, or do you think their decisions are fairly easy for them right now? You think they're struggling?
I think I think there's huge struggles going on there. I think I think some of it is fun struggling. I think the story with Tally is demonic. And should never have been played out on television. I think it's one of the nastiest things I've ever seen. That said, the two characters involved in it, Tally, who is an absolute ace. I mean, she is such a gorgeous performer. And Yolanda, I just loved Yolanda more and more as it went on. But the actual game itself, I thought was detestable. So I make that distinction, and thank God they played it as well as they could. And this evening we're going to find out, when Yolanda goes to see Tally. And the moment I saw that, I got my phone out and I sent a message to Yolanda. I said, I'm so proud of you for making that, because that took guts. Don't you think, Shubham?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think
you just think, what a hero. What a hero. She deserves to win the entire show just for that one moment, I think. She's an absolute angel.
I think because the real Tally's still in, I think this whole cloning thing could actually, as tough as it was for her, I think it could help her.
Oh, it's going to help her. She's definitely going to be in there for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I thought when she came in, I thought she was one of the weaker players. And
I think that's why her profile was chosen, because that's what
I know exactly. But now she's, now she's got a sort of identity, but that identity is stuck with this rather heinous game. Yeah. And what I worry about is that what we're going to remember from the show is fake Tally rather than the wonderful, brave Yolanda who comes to see the person she's been cloning. That's an almost secondary issue, and that should be the one which is sort of banner headlined.
Well, there's going to be a few casualties from this little twist, because if you think about it, Billy and Vithun, they're on the outs now too, because they try to.
Well, they go to the other side, right?
Billy, I'm afraid, is more likely to be the casualty than Vithun. Vithun has hedged his bets so well. Actually, he's played a very, very good game, but he's also been so open, and he's projected vulnerability, and vulnerability sells.
In the game, vulnerability works a lot. Yeah,
don't you think? I think I just do vulnerability anyway. But I think if you made a decision to do vulnerability, and partly vulnerability is that's what any actor does. They decide, okay, I'm going to bare my soul at this moment. And it's quite difficult to do it. And there's a point in the game. Yeah, there was a point in the game where I became me, and I was aware of it. Was there a point when you became you, Shubham?
I I don't know. I don't know if there was a point. I just felt like I was just playing myself. So I don't know. I felt like I was struggling a lot there though, because the influencer thing really put me off. So I don't know. I was warped with so many of my thoughts and stuff. And maybe I thought so much about social media before that it was kind of like I was filtering everything through that in a sense.
Yeah.
So I think I was me the whole time. It was just up and down a lot, like of how I was feeling.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, I love it. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I love it. I hate it.
Elaine. Now you can't tell me too much because I've not yet seen your series, and we have we have this agreement that I'm going to watch all of the series.
Oh, I've seen it. I loved it. Elaine,
have you seen her doing this stuff?
I'm a huge Survivor fan. Yeah, I love it. Elaine was amazing.
All right. So I'm now being introduced to Survivor because before I went on The Circle, I had seen no reality TV at all. I'd not even seen Big Brother.
Okay.
So my partner was watching Big Brother and saying, "Oh, Tim, there's this person called Nikki or this person called Pete, who I hope I'm going to meet in a few days' time, by the way. And you've got to see them." And I come in and I say, "Oh my goodness, no." And then I go back to doing what I was doing. So I haven't seen any reality TV. And when I came out of The Circle, I thought, I've got to take a crash course in this subgenre of television, which it amounts to nearly 30% of our sort of scheduled broadcasting. So it's terribly, terribly important.
So he started watching Survivor is basically.
Yeah. So the question, Elaine, is were you aware of the same thing? Did you find there was a point at which you sort of became you?
No, I was me from the jump. I really was. Here's my thing though, is like there's a lot of behind the scene things that you guys don't see on Survivor, just like every other show.
Of course.
And they have a storyline that they kind of want to follow. And the stuff that I wish they could have shown, like on day 1 or day 2, 3, whatever, was us just laughing hysterically, just crying. And in some of my pregame stuff, a guy who covers a lot of Survivor, Josh Wigler, he actually said, because he was out there with us, just filming in the background with everybody else, and he's like, "Yo, the first couple of days of watching Elaine basically do stand-up comedy stuff, like." Was the best days of my life. You know what I mean? So I was literally me. But that was my downfall. I was me all the time when I shouldn't have been like that. But I was just so excited to be there. Yeah. And so excited to be on Survivor. You know what I mean? I could not be me. I just never could not be me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But if I get to go back, Tim's froze up, looks like. But if
I was sitting there in a moment of reflection and admiration.
But if I go back, I mean, I don't know if I would do the same thing. But then again, if I'm anything other than myself, would I do any good? I don't think so. Yeah. I think if I play it different than what I am, I don't think I go very far at all. So it's like, nah, I was me 100. Too much.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it was so fun.
I one of the things I've learned over the last year by watching all these programs is that this is a very strange form of drama. So you get together a group of people, and if you've cast that group well, then when you put them together, certain things are going to happen, which you could probably even predict.
Right.
And providing you're filming 24 hours a day or filming as much as you can, that drama will play out. Now, some of it's predictable, and some of it is going to be completely surprising and will possibly take the drama in a direction you don't expect. But, so we are, in fact, when we're on these shows, we are like actors. It's just we don't know what the script is, we don't know what the storyline is, and we don't know what the conclusion is. But you can bet somebody has worked out all of those. Before we get there.
And you write a pretty good article on that, Tim.
I never stop writing.
I read your article.
I read your article, and it was very educational. And the first thing I thought of was, "Yo, my man Tim can write. Like, this was so good." Yeah, and you covered some really good points in it, though. I was super proud of you for that. You did.
I wanted to be fair. I wanted to be fair, and I wanted to be. I think this is. I think the whole reality TV phenomenon is a good thing. But it's something that can so easily be undermined or can be cheapened.
Right.
And here is an opportunity for real people to get on the telly. And it's such a wonderful, people sit watching that thing and they think, oh, I wish I could be there. Now you can. Now you can. And more than that, we're not going to manipulate you. We're going to guide you, and we're going to present you in the best possible way. And I think that if we looked at it like that, this would be wonderful. And certainly that's pretty well what I thought the circle was when I went on there. And I had two wonderful gods looking after me, and I felt so protected. It was a lovely experience, and I get the impression that the survivor experience, though you have hardships beyond belief, is actually very protective.
Yeah, it's Survivor is a whole nother, man. It messes with you physically and mentally, and I know the circle is a huge mental strain on you. But the physical strain that you go through, it messes with your head just as much as all the other stuff. So it's like in a league of its own when it comes to certain things. But the same principles still apply. You know what I mean? It's still, we still have the gods talking to us, and it's still a lot of the same, but it's different at the same time. It's kind of like us, this old motley crew of us.
I love this motley crew.
Right? We're the same, but visually we're a little different.
Different, okay. For sure.
I'm all right with that though. I accept and love all. So Tim, listen.
Tell me.
Okay, so who was you gonna say did you pick orange or blue to go home in the block?
Oh, I was pretty certain it was going to be blue who survived, and orange would go home.
Okay. I just wanted to see.
My reasoning was not about who was playing the better game there. My reasoning was, let's imagine that blue was sent home. How on earth would she do a goodbye video, or how on earth would she be trusted to go and see somebody, because she would give the game away?
Oh yeah,
it just wouldn't be. It isn't a credible scenario.
I was like, yo, she might punch somebody in the face. She might get a little.
Yeah, I just don't.
No, but she was so angry. I'm not saying that she really would. I was just.
She had a right to be angry. Shubham. Oh, Elaine, have you been cloned yet?
No.
Oh, have I been cloned in real life?
Yeah, I have. I was cloned about a month ago.
Oh, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Wait,
it was horrible. It was so. Oh, Elaine, I'll tell you everything.
Oh, okay.
We'll have a heart to heart.
I was like, wait a minute, I ain't heard this one yet. What happened?
No, well, this is before we got together, when I was a little bit starstruck by you. So now we're on first name terms.
Oh, okay.
We're all on first name,
right?
Yeah, so no, I was cloned. It was about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit earlier, and there are all these Professor Tim profiles popping up on Instagram, and my followers were getting a bit anxious, and
that's crazy.
But it was extraordinary because they were offering a free gift. So if you clocked on to one of these Professor Tims, you'd get a £10,000 or £100,000 prize. And I thought, oh my God, this is like a sort of pastiche of the circle, and it's quite scary.
That's nuts. Yeah.
And so I kept some of them. And so at the back of my phone, I've got some of these accounts, and they've all sort of gone. They've gone. So they changed names, and so I've got them. So I'm waiting until they change name again, and maybe they'll turn into the real person.
You really do feel Blue Tally, is what you're saying. That's what you're relating this to. You feel where she's coming from with the anger and frustration.
Oh God, do I feel that? I mean, I was so. I was practically lachrymose, actually. I do have a tendency to weep every so often, but on this particular occasion, I was terribly, terribly stressed, and because I think at the time I was also campaigning for Navalny, and I was and I thought, oh my goodness, is this the Russian bots getting their own back on me? But I had that on YouTube, so I know what that feels like.
Right.
So this was.
What do you think? What do you think is going to be like the episodes coming up? What do you think is going to be the repercussions for all of this? Like, what do you think it's leading us into?
Well, I think it's going to. I don't think there's going to be anything as horrible as the fake tally thing again. I think I'm going to be able to relax and sort of enjoy the rest of the season. I hope so. My fingers are crossed. because you know, I like the people.
Right.
I would love to see more humanity and more of those human moments, but I think the production has decided it's all about. I think the production has taken a sinister turn, actually, and it's all about what would you risk in order to win. Well,
yeah.
I just don't think they're really living in the real world. £100,000 would be nice, but it's not a great deal of money. And when you get it, it's probably only going to be 70,000 because the other 30,000 will go to Tim. Yeah. So, yeah.
I used to say like axe the tax and let's relax. You know.
I read that on you when I was reading up on your running for governor.
Yeah.
Like, yo, axe the tax. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. I'm telling you, I'm going to vote for you one day. I just know it.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. We'll sit down and construct the perfect.
That'll be so wonderful. Us putting a campaign together.
Oh yeah, when I run again here, you'll come and be my.
I'm coming. Yeah.
And when you run again over there, I'll come over to you and we'll fix it.
Crazier things are happening. I mean, Donald Trump was president. He was from reality TV. So why not?
Yes, I think he was from the wrong side of the tracks of reality TV somehow.
Well, this is true. But listen, I could totally be your VP and Tim could be Secretary of State or something. Like we could.
Hey, that cabinet would be so sick.
It would be so lovely, wouldn't it? By that time, I might be a little bit doddering.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
I could be Secretary of State for Defense, and I could have a cat on my knee, and then I could be recreating like Donald Pleasance in Bond. Yeah. And you can watch it all on the TV.
Wow.
Well, you can. And you got to stroke your beard, Tim.
Absolutely. Well, then I would be Gandalf. You shall not pass. Which I'm afraid is a line which comes to me every so often when I've got set exams. I think, oh dear.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, well, I want all my students to pass, actually, really, and I will make a case for all of them.
Well, I think that I mean, we covered more of the circle this time around than we did last time around. I do have to say.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
So before we go, because we're probably going to have to wrap up quite quickly, but before we go, what advice do you both have for the players of the circle? Let's assuming that it's live, which it isn't. What advice would you have for players of the circle, or for people watching now, to have in mind? What's the most one piece of crystalline advice? Elaine first.
Well, we saved the expert opinion for last because
we are saving the expert opinion for last. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
Mine is the same I said last week. I think that being yourself is always the best case scenario. Is just to be you, and I'm still rolling with that this week. There's been nothing to change my mind that tells me that being a catfish and hooking people that way is the best way to go. So until something changed my mind, I'm still riding with that.
Shooby.
I think going through it, being yourself, and then also trust your gut in the moment. Whatever the gut's saying, I think that's
the gut is important.
Yeah, the gut isn't really important. I think if you can just trust that, then things will be chilling.
That's true. I did say that on Survivor. I went with my gut a lot.
Yeah,
so I did say that.
I think there's always a disadvantage when somebody thinks that they're going to be logical, because you can only be logical when you've got all the facts, or at least most of the facts. In the circle, you have no facts.
Right.
Yeah, you have like 1/8 of a fact.
Yeah, right. So the only fact is you. So my idea in the circle was actually the same thing that I would use in real life, and when I'm lecturing or writing something, people assume that if you've got professor in front of your name, you're going to be very logical. I am not. I start with the conclusion, and then I find evidence to support it.
Right.
And it works for me. It works for me.
Not for everybody, though, but yeah.
So Shooby would call this going with your gut.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's basically it, though. I mean,
that's what it is.
Because I think you're presented with information, and you have to decipher it and decode it, and then you're just like, all right, the gut's saying this, go for it.
Right. Or it confirms and denies it,
Anthony Eros is saying here, I think the winner is being introduced to the storyline soon, but maybe I'm cynical. Yeah, We'll see. We'll see.
It will be interesting if a new player wins this season. Like
I'm pretty convinced a new player will win this season. But,
very interesting. I could see it if the final rating's tactical.
Yeah. You see, I just don't. You look at the players and you think, who is a winner here? And although some of them are very nice, I don't see anyone at the moment who is standout winner material.
Well, I still say Gemma.
Yeah, I think I adore Gemma. I adore James, but I don't think he's playing a winning game, and I don't think he's being presented as a winner. That's the other thing. He's not getting that sort of airtime. He's not looking like a winner.
Right. Well,
Shooby, you see, I was convinced that you were a winner from the first episode. By the way, so I was wrong in my assessment. Yeah. In your game, because I thought there's no way that Shooby could lose.
Oh, Tim, dude, your support always meant a lot. I really mean it. Remember you always
I was rooting for you from day one.
For me, it really meant a lot. Yeah. I actually remember, because we were corresponding while the season went by. I think you had me as the winner you thought I was the winner until the end, right? And then you're like, okay,
yeah. I really did. I thought you would squeeze past.
Yeah.
And
he could always get on another show such as AKA Survivor.
That would be so sick.
I think Shubham needs his own show, and it's called the President of the United States. So the governor.
I'm telling you, whenever you're considering your running mates, we're not busy. Just saying.
Elaine, you'll be wonderful.
I would love that. You guys would be wonderful.
Listen, y'all, my phone is literally on 4%.
We need to run away. So look, we'll have to do this again sometime very soon.
Yeah, I'm so down. Let's do this.
Yeah, Shooby, man, it's been awesome talking to you.
Come back to us. Come and talk Survivor.
That would be so fun.
Come and educate me through Survivor. So that's a date, I hope. Right. Okay, we're running away, and to everybody who's been watching, thank you very much.
Thank you
for your wonderful comments, and we'll see you next time. We're back on Tuesday, by the way, when we're going to talk to Jan from season 2 from my season.
Yeah, hopefully,
we were hoping to talk to somebody from season 3, but I'm not sure they're allowed. So we'll find that out on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Shooby, where can we find you?
Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram, so it's Shubham_Goel with 2 L's. Hit me up there. Twitter.
He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah,
he loves
it. Elaine,
I like social media now. I just think it feeds on the comparison contest and anxiety, and it makes people insecure. And it's like the mental health is a lot, and there's an information overflow. So I think there's good parts of it, but I also think there's a lot of bad still.
Right.
Shubham, nobody can compete with you. It's
Tim, you're the best. You both are the best, Elaine, Tim.
There you are. So Elaine, where do we find you?
You can find me at Elaine Stott 32 on Instagram and Twitter. And
that's Elaine Stott with a T after the S.
Yeah. Whenever I'd done this earlier, I forgot to go back and change it.
Oh my goodness!
So my name's wrong. I spelled my own name wrong. Can you believe that?
I'm really
win Survivor is because I don't pay attention to detail.
I'm now worried about you as vice president.
Well, I mean, it'll still work. I know. I just it'll still work.
Get it right. It's fine.
But I spelled my own name wrong. But Tim, what happens is I think of something, and then Tim starts talking, and then 20 minutes later, we're talking about this, and so I forget about that, and I forgot to go back and change my name.
I'm so sorry. Next time it will all be spectacular.
No, but it's Elaine Stott, STOTT 32. Holler at me, I'll holler at you.
And you can find me on Instagram at Professor_Tim_Wilson. I've also got a Twitter, which is a version of that as well. So look, we'll see you all on Tuesday. Have fun and have a lovely week. Bye bye.
Bye guys.
Oh,